Well, hey everybody. This video is going to be a step-by-step process on how you would receive an image from a customer or a graphic design artist and sublimate it onto a t-shirt. Now, the very first step was this lady sent me her images that she wanted on the t-shirt. So I went ahead and downloaded them into my computer and just by clicking on that little arrow. And then it popped up here showing where the image was going to be put onto my computer, which is my downloads. So I'm going to click on this little file, click on my downloads, and it shows up here. Let's go ahead and minimize these. Then I went into Cricut Design Space, and I should have cleared all this out before I did this. Excuse me, it's still dealing with a cold. I clicked on upload, upload image, browse, clicked on the image that's in my downloads, opened it up, and there it is. I'm going to click on continue. And the way the design artist, the graphic design artist sent it to me is there was a background frame of some sort, but it didn't end up showing here. So I was really happy about that. It could have been corrected if it needed to be. I'm going to be doing sublimation, so it's a flat graphic. And continue. And that's just going to pop up here, and you can save it, the image details if you want, give it a tag. I don't need to do that. So I'm going to click on upload. Fantastic. Now, this is really, really big, so I don't need it to be that big. I just need it to print out. I think it was originally 9.5, so I'm bringing that way down there. So there's going to be one as like the pocket, not really a pocket, but where the pocket would be, I should say that. And then I'm going to print out the one that's going to go on the back of the t-shirt. Now I've already done that, and I can take you on over to the craft table and we'll get this t-shirt made. If you have any questions about this video or what I did, please do leave the comments in the comment section. Oh, I wanted to stop over and say, anytime you sublimate or you use heat transfer, you need to flip it. So you can flip it here on the canvas, or I'm going to click on make. Let's adjust that. And or you can flip it on this panel here, which is you go mirror and you're good to go. Okay, like I said, I already printed these out. Let's go ahead and make this t-shirt. Okay, just kidding. I wanted to also show you how you would look at the time and the temp of what you need to use for heat transferring this onto the t-shirt. Now, I did it, and I always do it a couple of different ways. My first go-to is the Cricut Heat Guide. And how I went ahead and found it was I clicked on the Easy Press 2, which I'll be using. And then there isn't anything on, oh, they did update it. Okay, sublimation printable iron-on. I just saw that. That's amazing. Typically, I was using infusible ink as the choice. Well, this is really great. And then I'm going to select it as a t-shirt. And then we're good to go. So just click apply, and it's $3.15 for 30 seconds. Now you can also Google it. What time and temp do you use for sublimation on a t-shirt? And let's see what this says. This says 385 to 400 degrees, 45 to 60 seconds. The completely opposite of what the Cricut guide, not opposite, but the times and temperatures are somewhat different, 45 to 60. This one's 30 seconds. It certainly doesn't hurt to do it sort of in between the 30 seconds and the 60 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and set my Cricut heat press for 45 seconds. And I'm going to set it at 400. All right, that's what we're going to do. Okay, sorry about that. Now we can go make the t-shirt. Okay, so I've turned my heat press on by pushing this button, and I'm going to change the temperature to 385, which I already did. I'm just using this little plus sign. And then I'm going to change the seconds by pressing on this little timer thing. And I'm going to do it for, I waited too long. Let's do it for 60 seconds. The t-shirt that I'm using is a sublimation t-shirt that I got off of Amazon. I'm going to show it to you in a minute. There are ways around sublimating on a cotton t-shirt, but I haven't been successful at it yet. All these times that I've done it, it just having to line things up with white vinyl. It's just not, I just can't get quite down, so I'm going to keep practicing. So in the meantime, this is the t-shirt. I did get this off of Amazon. I can include the link if I can remember to do that when I'm doing my editing. It's very wrinkly. So I'm going to use my heat press to go ahead and get the wrinkles out. Oh, I have a little cut there. I don't think it matters. I have no idea how that happened. Okay, you're always going to use your heat press first on where your image is going to go. Anyway, so now it was interesting because I used I used a cotton t-shirt with some iron on a t-shirt for the customer before, and for some reason the iron-on bled. Never had that problem before, so something I did, or maybe there was something wrong with the iron-on product. Really, I have no idea. So I told her I would do another one for her, and you know, make up for the one that bled on for her first t-shirt. Now I will do a full press on my big heat press when it's all done. My full heat press is behind me on a table, which is not close to the camera that I have set up. So, all right, so I'm ironing it, as well as they always say, getting the moisture out of it. Okay, so we'll do the front first, and I want to go ahead and put a piece of butcher paper in between. I have never had any problems with it bleeding through, but always be safe than sorry. Okay, my heat press is ready. Get this flattened in here. I lucked out because the sublimation t-shirt costs, they actually are going down. I got this sublimation t-shirt for the same price as I did the cotton, the Gildan brand in the past, which is something I did at Michael's. Okay, so if you look at where your sleeve is and where the actual logo is going to go, pull that over some more. And you want it to be all the way flat. You're going to go down about halfway, not halfway through the t-shirt, but midway through the t-shirt. And they're going to go about, usually go about 3 inches up from the sleeve here. So I'm going to go all the way over to like where half that would be, and that's where I'm going to put the pocket logo. Now I went ahead and printed it out twice. Set that there for a second. I want to just put a little marker there since I've already measured it. My tape measure is not available, so. And I'm not going to worry about like cutting it perfectly, putting it through the Cricut machine. I'm just going to hand cut this. It doesn't need to be perfectly, the image doesn't need to be perfectly cut. And it saves a little bit of time than, you know, putting it on the mat and cutting it and all that stuff. Okay, so if you were wondering why I flipped it, because it's going to go this side down for sublimation. And if you can see, hopefully, that is the correct way that the image is supposed to be on the t-shirt. If I didn't flip it, then it would be the opposite and it would turn out like that. So if that made any sense at all. So again, I'm just going to try to get it in the middle. I've done so many of these t-shirts, I really should be showing you exactly how I came up with how to do the measurements. And that looks about good. Okay, let's get another piece of butcher paper. Put that over the top. I'm going to move the t-shirt over, or the pad I should say, yeah. There we go. And it's going to go up a little bit. Make sure that it's, actually this would be helpful if I did this for myself, so I'm going to take a minute. Instead of trying to use this part as seeing whether it's in the right position, it's not turned incorrectly. Now I'm going to be using this flat edge. And that looks good. You can also use a ruler. Just looking at it one more time. I think I'm going to want it down a little bit more. Like maybe 2 inches from the sleeve there. Okay, butcher paper. I don't need 2 pieces. Set my heat press on top. I'm going to give it a little bit of pressure. And we're going to wait the 60 seconds. And I feel that it is important to put the pressure on it if you're using the heat press too. Your t-shirt heat press, or your big one like the HTV Ron or even the Cricut Auto Press or any of them, you know, it does its own pressure. It applies its own pressure. So you want to go ahead and do that if you're going to use your heat press too. Okay, we've got about 20 seconds left. After you're done sublimating, you want it to sit and don't move it, because if you do, it'll do what's called shadowing. So the ink will kind of move over in an area that you don't want it to be. So I'm going to take the heat press off very carefully, straight up, and I'm just going to let it sit there for a couple seconds. Then we'll have the back to do, and I'm going to do the same thing as I did for the little one. I'm going to cut it as close to this back area, black area, as I can to use that as a guide on where to put it on the t-shirt so that it's not all wonky. I don't care about this part. Again, just hand cutting it like this is fine and saves time. I have seen some people just rip it, which works too. Okay, I'm going to take this off very slowly. And this is not to be used anymore. You see how the ink bled onto it? That will bleed onto your next project, so you don't want to use that. And I'm feeling it. It feels like it's cooled off enough, and I'm just going to lift it straight up. There we go. How beautiful is that? I have to tell you, sublimation is the way to go. So I have a Sawgrass SG 500. It's not the wide format printer. I wish I would have done that in the very beginning. It wasn't that much more money, but I have made so many projects with sublimation and sold them that by far it's been worth the money. I'm gonna hold this up and see how pretty that is, right? Okay, let's flip this guy over. And it did bleed through the back. Or was that already on the t-shirt? That's interesting. That looks like a butterfly. I don't know what happened here. I don't know if this was on the t-shirt before. I didn't even think to look. Okay, well, that's not good. I will give her this one just because I have no use for it. And I'll make another one for her. I did buy 2 t-shirts. I'm definitely losing money on this one, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish this video. Where did that come from? Is it from here? Let me put a, I don't see a butterfly on there. Oh, the mystery. The mystery. Okay. Another thing that you should do that I didn't do is use some heat transfer tape to hold the image down, which I'm gonna grab here real quick. Especially for this bigger image. I don't want it to be moving around when I'm pressing it. Okay, I'm gonna pull this up here. I do want this to come down a little bit more. So the mystery of the butterfly. So I'm gonna go down about hand's length. Dawn does have longer hair. So we want it to go down so that it can be seen, or you can just make it standard, 1 hand length down. And it looks like I'm right about the middle. It's always a good idea to fold the t-shirt and crease it before. Like I said, I've been doing this for a while, so I'm pretty confident that I'm in the middle. That should be good enough. Let's go 2 more on each side. Especially where you've got the ink image. Oh, I don't know if you guys just heard my stomach growl. That was crazy. All right, I'm gonna make sure my mat is on here correctly. Yeah, I'm gonna be heat pressing over the butterfly, but I might as well finish it up. We'll see what happens. I'm curious. All right, butcher paper is inside, butcher paper's on the heat mat, and butcher paper is now on the top. Now, this image is larger than what my Cricut heat press is, so I'm going to be doing it twice. Applying pressure. That's really crazy how that, I have no idea where that butterfly, it had to have been on the actual heat mat that I couldn't see. It bled through on there on a previous project that I did. That's the only thing I could think that happened. So, yeah, I remember when I first started getting into the sublimation, I was very curious about how it worked. And if you're just getting started, you're gonna make mistakes, and you're gonna end up throwing things away. So don't be upset about that, or just make a lot of projects. For my practice, is I got 1 t-shirt and I just kept heat pressing designs all over the t-shirt just to get the practice. And now I still have the t-shirt. It's kind of funny because it has all these different designs all over the place, but it helped. It definitely helped me. All right, so then I'm going to move this over. Being very careful. That's where the heat tape comes in, because it holds the image down if you have to move your heat press or your t-shirt. And we're doing good here. Yeah, we got like about 40 seconds left, and I'm just gonna yammer on about nothing. Like I said previously in this video, you can sublimate on cotton. There's lots of YouTube videos out there that you can look up, just, you know, sublimate on 100% cotton, and it would save you, well, let me rephrase that. It's not going to save you money because you have to use an extra product, which is the white heat transfer vinyl on the t-shirt first, and then you sublimate on that. So either way, if you want to take that extra step to do that, that'd be great. All right, I'm just going to lift this up so it'll cool faster. And that goes in the trash. I'm just going to let it sit there. Looks like it's sublimating really nicely. So always happy that I got another. I always get two because I know me. And I know that equipment isn't always 100% works. Like this particular incident. Yeah, it's cool. Just carefully, I'm going to lift it straight up and peel it off. Beautiful, right? Yeah, there's the little butterfly right there. I'm still going to give her the t-shirt, but that's the process. If you have any questions, comments, or constructive criticism, I'm all here for it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a fantastic day.